We are so excited to have Rwandan graduates on this call, on this podcast. And as I introduced myself, um, I'm Everest Nizemana, and I'm going to take you through this presentation. You learn about TN Academy, you learn what we do, and you will get a chance to ask questions. And we want to make this as discussion as very possible because we need to hear as many questions as possible instead of me presenting. So note your questions, type your questions into the comment sections. We'll be answering them. So as you can see the slide, so what is Ten Academy? So it's training program that occurs every year, and it can have more batches, more sessions across there. So we help recent graduates, university graduates from Africa, be ready for their career for as machine learning engineers, data engineers, and also Web3 engineers. So as you can see on the slides, the trainings are 3 months long, but there are extra 3 months for job support. So it's 3 months supported job search phases. So what does this mean? So we train you to be ready for these 3 jobs career. Then we help you know what needs to be achieved or what are the requirements you need to get to be global level job ready. So one of the outcomes that you can see, so we have currently graduated 4 batches, and these open applications are for batch 5. So as you can see on the slide, 90% of our 10 academic graduates are working as machine learning engineers, data engineers. So the Web3 is the new one. So, and we hope that in the batch 5, we'll be having people who graduate and get jobs as Web3 engineers. So as you can see the statistics that we have done, researches that we have conducted across university graduates across the African countries. It shows that our alumni are earning 3 times than their peers who have graduated at the same time, and we place them as quick as possible, almost 7 times faster than their peers get jobs. So another thing that I can also add is that our alumni are working remotely, and of course the trainings is remote. So you have to be ready to attend remotely and get trained remotely. So it also prepares you to work remotely. So you know that these fields are on high demand, and that data engineering is on high demand, machine learning is on high demand, and so the jobs are available across the world, and most of them are available remotely. So this is just a picture. This is a picture of where our alumni are working from. So as you can see, we have people working on North America, Africa, and Europe. So I will just go through as quick as this. And allow me to take you through our batch 5, which is the upcoming batch of training. And the applications are now open. They are open from April 1 and also to end 17th April. So it means we have a few days to go. So we are on 6th. So it means we have 11 days remaining towards the application close date. So after that, we go through selections, which is the application is, we want to make the application as easy as possible for the applicants, but the intensive part of our selections is the selection part from 19th April to 7th May, where we go through challenges. When you are shortlisted, you will go through challenges to showcase your ability in terms of the prerequisites and requirements, which I will present moving forward. And also, those who will make it to the training will be welcome to attend training on May 9th to 29th July. These are 3 months period. Then when you graduate, when you are ready to get to start applying for the jobs. We work with you during 3 months extra to make you ready for the jobs. That's why you are applying. So you're doing your capstone projects, and also you are improving your knowledge and skills to be excellent when you get a job. So this is an overview of how the week looks like at 10 Academy when we are training. So you see that it's all about challenges. There is always a weekly challenge. The weekly challenge helps you achieve a certain competence and skill level. So we design this so that it meets all the standards, and the challenges are well designed by industry experts. So the training goes especially on Sunday. You get a challenge. The challenge which we work through during a week. When the challenge is reached, we expect a trainee to have some milestones in the midweek. So, and through every day, we have stand-ups, we have the Q&A sessions, we have the community which support our trainees, where they can get answers to their questions in no more than 5 minutes. So it means the training is very engaging with the experts and also other community managers, tutors. So we have guest talks. So where we invite the experts in the industries to share the insights with our trainees. So from there they get to learn every day what they need to achieve in order to be more successful when they get into the artificial intelligence job, AI, or also Web3. So you can see we have daily community sessions and also guest talks. Well, so on this slide, it's all about what we do to prepare our trainees for the jobs. So the trainees mostly get feedbacks when they submit their challenges. They get feedbacks. They work on their challenges. They make them very clear. So when they can present to the employers will get interested and impressed by their work. So another thing that I can add, it's you can know that getting a job in these fields, either artificial intelligence, data engineering, machine learning, and also Web3, is really a complex process. It's not easy for everyone to get a job in this industry. But what we do as a 10 Academy is to take someone who is graduating from university with no work experience and offer 3 months intensive program or training program, so that person will be on the level of someone in 2 to 3 years of experience, someone who can compete with global other job seekers and to get jobs and work as a machine learning engineer, data engineer, and Web3 engineer. These are just competencies that I talked about before. We measure this closely when we are training. So they are distributed into 4 categories. One is career, other is AI, the artificial intelligence, software engineering, and also Web3. So, and these competencies can be are also available on our website. So, which we probably share with everyone on this call, so that they can go through them. So I can skim through them, but on career we have being professional in global level jobs, because to succeed in a work, everybody needs to be professional and also comply with what is the values that their employers are expecting to have. So one in AI is data and analytics engineering. So we also equip our trainees with Python programming and also SQL programming. And on the Web3, we have building smart contracts. These are the almost 12 competencies which are linked into so many knowledge areas that every trainee goes through and needs to have before they get job ready. So as I talked before, there are prerequisites that we require for someone to be ready to apply and to be ready to succeed and excel in our training. So To be able to apply, you need to have some basic background in Python, SQL, statistics, and linear algebra. So even though we don't limit our opportunities to people from STEM background, so we as long as someone is motivated and someone is hungry and has worked extra mile to have some basic backgrounds, either learning independently or attending some training courses, online courses to have basic Python, SQL, statistics, and linear algebra, everybody is welcome to apply for this opportunity. And of course, you understand that we train African nationals. So you need to be from Africa to attend this training, and you have to be full-time available. So I will try to emphasize on this. Being full-time available means our training are so intensive and requires you to be full-time, so you don't need to have extra jobs or side works or side studies. So you need to dedicate your time because you need to keep up with the training. So you also, because the trainings are online, so you need to access the challenges, you need to attend the sessions, you need to attend other tutorials. So we expect that someone who is dedicated to our training to be having to have data for being able to attend. Like we estimated 15 gigabytes per month for someone to be ready to attend this training online, free online. So of course, yeah, you need to have a laptop that is with you every day. So where we'll be working on challenges and also working with the other peers. So the prerequisites the above prerequisites are one of the requirements, and of course, they are the ones which we emphasize on because what we do mostly is to help. Our aim is to get people into work, not just training. Training is one thing, but we train you to be ready for the job. That's why we require this basic background in Python, SQL, statistics, and linear algebra. So again, you are motivated and you are hungry for the jobs in the field of AI and also Web3. So the exciting news, you can see that we have some alumni from Rwanda, Janet, and other alumni from Nigeria, from Tunisia, Ethiopia. These are great opportunity for someone who is working with other people across Africa. So they get to learn about diversity. They get to learn how to work people in remote environment. So these testimonials can also be found on our website, which we will share, and people can visit our website and you will get impressed and get attracted to our program. So I will walk through some of the team that help us go through towards our missions. So we have Technology Advisory Council, so who help us to design the challenges and also map out the competencies and the skills required. And all of these are working in the industry. I mean the industry of artificial intelligence and also Web3. So these are the ones who help us every day to modify the content, to improve the content, and also equip with our trainees with necessary skills and competencies required. So you can be asking why artificial intelligence or Web3? So Lydia, can you just zoom? Yeah, thank you. So why AI or Web3? So as I told you before, these are the on-demand skills or jobs that are on our planet, and most of them are accessible remotely. So someone can be sitting in Kigali working with the company based in New York, based in Berlin, based in Asia or any part of the world. And the volume of these works or jobs are on high demand. So another thing is these are the skills or the skills in the industries of technology, where someone can dedicate their 3 to 6 months and get to the level of someone who is with 2 to 3 years of experience. So, and 10 Academy is easy to manage this and help a trainee to get there. So, as I told you, 1,000 jobs are available online, and also the impact that someone from this industry can make is very huge. It means as the skills in these industries are very highly on demand, someone can join us on an entry job. After 3 years of experience, that person will be leading the teams in the industry and will be probably implementing their own AI implementations that can be beneficial to the continent, to their countries, and also to the world. It can be probably in any fields, probably agriculture, education, or other overarching fields. So the questions that probably I think many people will have in their mind: what's the cost of this? What's the cost of this training? So the training, as you can see, the application is free. You apply, you send your application. So we review your application, and we don't charge anything when you are applying. So when you get through the training, we welcome the trainees who made it to the week 1 and 2 until week 4. So during this training, we want to make sure that you understand that you're ready for these fields. So sometimes people on this period, they haven't decided whether to continue or not. So means on this stage, 4 weeks, we don't charge anything. When you are admitted to week 5 and also to graduate from your training, so there is a registration fee of $100 US. So, and these are the contribution fees which help us run the next trainings. For example, the trainings that we are going to conduct has been contributed by the paid forward. We call it paid forward contribution from trainees who are working, trainees from batch 4. So it's recursive like that because we are non-profit registered organization. So we make sure that the trainings are run by the contribution of the previous graduates who are working. So when you get a job, so a job the job that pays you above $500 US, so you are required to pay the $900 US in installments model. So you are allowed to pay this as you are working. You pay in installments, 1, 2, 3 installments as you wish. So we also discuss with and we have agreements with the trainee before aiming to the installments they will be paying back.
Everest, I just want us to pause here just for a moment, so that if you can go back to that slide. Cost is a really important part because so many people are asking, is this really free? So ndashaka kugira ngo ubisobanure neza mu Kinyarwanda abantu babisobanukirwe kugira ngo bisobanuke.
Okay, urakoze cyane Lydia. Reka mbisobanure mu Kinyarwanda. So Arun, you will probably be sorry for us, but I know you probably understand.
My Kinyarwanda is still a work in progress. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Murakoze.
Murakoze cyane. Yeah, training nari ndi gusobanura uburyo ihagaze mu bijyanye n'imyishyurire cyangwa se abivuga se training ziri free twatending training nari nasobanuye yuko turi non-profit organization ifasha abanyeshuri barangije mu kaminuza kugira ngo babe bajya muri babona akazi muri as data engineers cyangwa se machine learning engineers cyangwa web3 engineers. Nkuko tubibona kuri slide ndi gupresenta hari iri kwerekana uburyo training igenda ikostinga. Actually ubundi training cost yayo ni $1,000 y'Amerika, ariko ntago ayo mafaranga yishyurwa utarabona akazi, utaratangira gukora, kiretse $100 yishyurwa twakwadimetinze mu cyumweru cya gatanu. Hano ndahita nongera emphasize ntago uko abapplyinze bose baza muri training, dukora selection, tugatanga challenges, bazipasinze ama interviews, bakaza muri training. Training itangira kuri week 1, week ya mbere cyangwa icyumweru cya mbere. Rero week 1 igera kuri week 4. Ahangaha tuba turi kureba nyine abari capable yo kurangiza training. Nawe uri muri training uri kudecidinga cyangwa se ureba koko niba ari training wakomeza ukarangiza, kuko turabizi rimwe na rimwe ushaka kuza muri training wizeye ko ibintu uzabirangiza, but ukabona yuko maybe ntago wari witeguye neza kurangiza training. So muri iki gihe ntago ducharginga any coin, ntago ducharginga amafaranga ku muntu uri muri training. Ni ukuvuga ngo ibiri free hano waza ugafata training, ariko mu gihe twadimitinga abantu mu cyumweru cya gatanu. Ni ukuvuga ngo abari mu cyumweru abakoze ukwezi kwa mbere, urabona ni ibyumweru 4, sinzi niba mwese muri kubibona, turebamo abafite ubushobozi bwo kujya mu cyumweru cya gatanu kugeza mu cyumweru cya 12, aribo baba bari muri training n'ubundi igomba kurangiza bya byumweru 12 twavuze, amezi 3. Kugira ngo ujye muri iyi week nyine hari agreements dukorana, ukaba wishyura $100 kugira ameze nka registration fees, ahita ava muri cya gihumbi agasigara $900. Ni ukuvuga ngo iyo training uyikora kuri ya registration ufite watanze $100. Hanyuma iyo urangije training turagufasha, tugakorana nawe nk'uko twabigaragaje ko hari ibindi byumweru 12 dukorana n'aba trainees bacu kugira ngo babe babona akazi. Hari ubona akazi nk'uko mubizi, hari ubona akazi mu cyumweru cya mbere akirangiza training, hari ubona akazi mu cyumweru cya kabiri akibona training, hari ubona akazi mu kwezi kwa kabiri. Ntago ariko bose bahita babona akazi, ariko expectinga yuko tugendeye kuri imibare dufite ya training zabanje, yuko abanyeshuri benshi babona utuzi muri aya mezi 3 twongeraho dufasha aba-trainers cyangwa se aba-trainees mu kubona akazi. Ndetse n'aya 6 ayo mezi 3 yarangije yandi, n'ubundi wundi wenda utabashije kubona ako kazi, n'ubundi dukomeza gukorana career advice, twari reviewinga their CVs cyangwa se n'izindi. So iyo ubonye akazi, so icyo tugufasha ni iki? So tukorana nawe ku buryo ubasha noneho kudecidinga bitewe n'amafaranga uhembwa. On average ubungubu aba trainees bacu bari kuri $800 on average. Dukoze average kwa trainees bose, maximum zigera no ku $2,500. Ariko bite n'amafaranga uhembwa udecidinga installments ugiye kwishyura. Installments ubwo ni ibyiciro. Ushaka kuvuga uti ngiye kwishyura umushahara wa mbere, nzishyura aya ngaya ku wa kabiri, aya ngaya, ariko ku buryo tubyoroshya tukavuga tuti kugira byorohe uzishyura installments 4, cyangwa nzishyura Evariste nzishyura installments 4 ngabanyije kuri $900 yarasigaye. Ubwo ayo mafaranga niyo nzaniyishyura kugeza ndangije paid forward, icyo ariko tuyita muri Ten Academy. So keretse niba hari undi wenda ufite ikibazo, I'm very sure yuko nabashije kubisobanura neza, kandi hari na dokima mwaza kubona kuri agreements cyangwa se kuri website muri no applying, hari na dokima ababasha applying bari bubone mbere yo submitting applications. Please read through the agreement, read through the documents you have sent you to the application form.
Thank you so much. I think that was elaborate. For someone for this LinkedIn user who's asking what's the target audience, it's definitely Africans. But since we're hosting this session here in Rwanda, we do love our language, so we thought we could mix in some Kinyarwanda. Arun, I hope you understood what everything was said.
I know how to say training in Kinyarwanda. Training is training.
Training is training. Yes, absolutely. I thought because I thought that was really key, so that our people understand the kind of training. Yes, it's kind of free, but then you also pay it forward, and that's how the rest of the course will get to go through the training. So I'll let you go on, Everest. I think we're almost concluding.
Yeah, thank you, Lydia. We are almost done. So these are just our partners and supporters, because some of the companies where our trainees are working from. So some people know Hence Technologies, which also based in Kigali. There are some people working with Forslabs, Google, IOPOs, and other companies which couldn't probably fit on this slide. So I guess I have gone through the overview of this presentation. I think it's just time to discuss, right?
Yes,
just discuss, welcome questions.
Maybe I can just jump in quickly. Lydia, you said a user was asking, who is the training really focused on? We have a very specific focus. We know that there are lots of really hungry young graduates who want to get their first work experience, and they want to get a global level job. And they're ready to work very, very hard for 3 to 6 months to get there. So that's our target audience. We're looking for people who are able. Our training is not, we have no exams. There are not really many lectures, but what we do is let you know what employers are looking for, and we will give you constant feedback to let you know what it is that you need to do to get there. You need to be ready to be an active learner. One of the examples that we always give is, if you want to learn how to become very strong, you want to get a six-pack. I don't know if you know this, if you want to get really strong abdominal muscles, there's no shortcut. You need to show up every day. You need to control your diet. You have to be serious about exercise. You have to do your daily exercise. And if you do all of the 12 things that you have to do every day reliably, by the end of the 6 months, you'll get your six-pack. But there are no shortcuts. And this is what our audience is, the people who are ready to work 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week for 6 months. It's a lot of work. And the reason is because when you get to that level, you're going to be competing with people from India, from Pakistan, from Brazil, from the US. We know that our people from Rwanda and from Africa are able to do it, but they have to be ready for 60, 70 hours a week for 6 months.
Yeah, and I also know, Arun, I think you also answer this, even though I think it was mentioned. Someone asked, let me try to get this question here. This is Munyaneza, and can't this training be taken remotely? I think we discussed that.
It's only remotely, yeah. Our training is fully online, and it's not only for Rwandans. We will have people from all over the continent. To date, we've trained people from 18 different countries. And it's a very important, our model says that just like when you get to work, you are successful when your team is successful. And in the same way, when you get into training, you will be successful when other people around you can help them and you can also learn from them. So our focus is not giving you training, our focus is getting you ready for work. And that means you have to learn to work with other people, including from different cultures and different continents. And also to use different tools and techniques. So using tools like Slack, applying online, using tools like Trello. We want to make sure that people do not only have the technical skills, but they also have, as Everest mentioned, professional skills, communication skills, and that you can showcase all of that to external people.
Absolutely. We do have a question from Revian Wachu. Revian, all these sessions that we do are recorded and are available on RDB LinkedIn page. I can see you're watching from LinkedIn, but if you scroll through, you see the session from start to end. And if you also want to see the other sessions that we've had before, they're available on Skills Rwanda YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and type Skills Rwanda, you see the recorded version from start to end. And that's for everyone who hasn't joined us from start. So to make sure that you don't miss any information. All these sessions are recorded and they'll stay on these platforms for you to watch. Let me see. We do have different people. We have people from Uganda. We have people tuning in from Kenya, and I do hope, Arun, that the application is open to all these people.
It is, yeah. So we're open to the requirements, as Everest mentioned, are pretty straightforward. We want recent university graduates, and that's flexibly defined. We want people from Africa. But the most important thing that we're looking for are people who are willing to put the time and the effort in. And that reason is that this is what we've seen leads to success in actually getting a job.
Yes.
And so that means that people have to be able to not have a side job. They have to be able to buy their own data. 15 gigabytes is enough. Have a laptop and participate in the training. We're also very focused on getting people into the world of work. So we've had people in the past who have said, I'm interested in doing a master's degree or a PhD, which we support, but our training is not, it's not focused on that.
Okay. So, Aaron, I want to hear from you. What can you say? Is it advisable for someone to take this kind of training if they're still a student?
It really depends on the time, and I guess that's from Muhire. I think, so what is 60 hours a week? That's 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, or more. Is it realistic that somebody can do that while still fulfilling his or her university obligations? I don't know if that's realistic. I think it's rather not realistic.
Yeah. So I think if someone is still a student, let them first finish at least the course. I know for some students, when they're nearing graduation, they're done with their courses. Maybe then they have the hours to put in.
It could be, and we don't know everyone's situation. We're flexible, but this is the reason why the way we've structured it, we won't take $1 from anyone until we are convinced that we think we can get them into a job.
Yes. The job part is really important. So they're not just providing the training, you make sure that someone gets into the job in the workplace.
Yeah, and that's why we work very closely with industry, because what we've learned is we've worked with many students in the past, and we've seen a lot of trainees come to us, and they've spent a lot of time on Udemy courses, they've used YouTube courses, they've learned a lot, but industry wants you understand what the deployment process looks like, what the documentation process looks like, that you can work with your colleagues to make sure that you're actually designing something that people want. Are you testing your software? Are you familiar with tools? And can you showcase this to an external audience? Because when you're competing with people from around the world, you have to make sure that you're speaking the language that the employer expects.
Absolutely.
And this is where this competency framework comes in.
Yeah. One thing I can add on the question someone asked me regarding if they can still apply when they are students. So we almost always advise students to just apply just in case they feel they can graduate before the start of the training. It's always like this discussion. It's a great opportunity for someone to be aware of this training program and that it happens recursively across there. Someone who is in the final year and probably feels like he's not ready to join, we have other applications open Arun, maybe if I'm not mistaken, the next batch will open in September. For that, someone, if someone is really projecting that graduations in August, so that person will focus on their studies. Then when they graduate, they will also be acquiring some prerequisites so that they can be ready for applying to the September intake. So I think that would be much safer running to applying for the the training when they will now feel ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, Aaron, we need to touch on that. This is not a one-time opportunity. I think you guys carry out these trainings in different cohorts. If you can touch on that, so that maybe someone at this juncture, they are busy and they're not capable of joining the course now, but what are the other options? And I guess those are also available on the website. Can you enlighten on that?
Exactly. We haven't finalized the last dates or the fixed dates for the rest of 2022, but we expect to run 2 more batches for the rest of 2022. So as Everest mentioned, probably September to December will be our next batch of training. But absolutely true. I think it's important that people recognize this is our training. We expect it to continue. But the reason why we expect it to continue is that the demands from employers are increasing. It's a very strange situation. Employers globally cannot find the right people. And on the other hand, we have a huge need for jobs among motivated young people. And so our intervention is a very narrow intervention where we say, for those people who are really hungry and really motivated, we provide a pathway to get over the 2 gaps at the same time, your first job and a first global level job in a really interesting and growing field, so which is machine learning, data engineering, and this year we've added Web3 and blockchain. And I think I don't know if there are any questions around what are some of the exit points and that, because I hope machine learning engineering versus data engineering versus blockchain engineering is well understood. I don't know if there are any questions around that.
I don't think they have been addressed yet, but you can go ahead and talk about it since we still have some minutes as I look through any questions. And please, if you do have any questions that you wasn't addressed that you would like us to discuss, please let us know in the chat box. We'll be happy to discuss that and answer it. If you missed the start of the session, because we are now like 45 minutes in, you can always check it on the Skills Rwanda YouTube channel. It's really, it will stay there, it's recorded, and you can view it at any point in time.
So the 3 exit careers that we have in mind, where we're preparing people very specifically for, we want people to be ready as a machine learning engineer, which is a well-defined career. And these are people who would work with different companies to take, what's an example that I can give you? Using Google Maps, for example, that they would help to deploy the routing algorithm and to make the decision on if you want to go from point A to point B. How do you work with that model and not only help to design and probably not develop it yourself, but maintain the model and serve it to a user on a mobile or a web interface. So that is one example of a mobile learning, machine learning engineer, and there are many, many use cases in different industries, from, as Everest mentioned, agriculture to education to fintech. Credit scoring is another example of machine learning engineering. There are very many different examples. Machine learning engineer is one, and that tends to be people who have a software engineering background, and we layer machine learning engineering on top of it, along with the whole tooling layer. So how do you actually test and deploy and do that in an industry standard fashion? So that's one. The second is data engineering, which is artificial intelligence demands access to data in a reliable way. And so these are people who would scrape different data from websites or build data streams into the machine learning models. Also in demand, requires a little bit less of a software engineering background. And the third, and this is very new, is Web3 or blockchain. So for those of you who have heard of Bitcoin or Ethereum, this is using blockchain or Web3 to actually deploy Web3 systems. So this is very new. It's an extremely in-demand career. It's very difficult for people anywhere to get Web3 or blockchain engineers. So those are the three different exit points. I want to emphasize what we are not training people for. We're not training people on software development, front-end or back-end web development, mobile application development. We're not training people to be data scientists. So we have a very specific focus, because this is where our offer is that within 3 to 6 months that you will be ready for a job, and we believe that you will actually get a job, even if we cannot guarantee that. And that's why we have to be very narrow in what we're able to promise. I just wanted to add one more point as well on cost. Our goal has been to develop a program where the cost of training is less than 2 months of your salary. And so even if the number $1,000 may seem high, it may seem low, but it's less than 2 months of the salary that we will expect you to have. And if you are earning less, as Everest I'm sure mentioned when he was speaking in Kenya, Rwanda, if you don't get placed into work, earning a good salary, then we don't ask you to pay.
I think you will need to repeat that so that they get it.
So if you don't get placed into a job where you are earning $500 a month or more, then you don't pay. There is the one as well. I should preface that after 1 month, there is a $100 fee, and the rest of the $900 you only pay if you get placed into work.